All right, welcome back, guys. This is the second half of test 17. We're gonna finish strong, 11 through 20. Stick with me.
Flack math! Give me some math and I'll give you some flack. Flack math!
All right, number 11, here we go. Find the area of the circle. Use 22/7 for pi. Well, how do you find the area of a circle? That's just pi times r squared, right? Well, what are we using for pi? 22/7 times radius squared. Well, that's just 42 squared. So 42 times itself, or 42/1 times itself. That works. Okay. So look what happens when we use 22/7. We can cancel that 7 with that 42, and at least get one of those 42s out of there. So then we're left with 22 times 6 times 42 all over 1. And that's not bad, right? So let's do that math. What's 22 times 6 times 42? We get 5,544, and it's square inches. Boom. Cool. All right, complete the table. You guys are good at these. Let's do this real quick here. 90%, to change a percent to a decimal, you just move it over 2 places. So 0.90 or just 0.9. Okay. 90% is just 90%, right? Just throw it over 100 and then reduce it, 9/10. All right, 21/40ths going the opposite way. This takes a little bit more work, but you can do it. Just divide 21 by 40. This is just, a fraction is just a division problem. So you can't, 40 doesn't go into 21, so add a decimal and a 0. 40 goes into 210 5 times. 5 times 40 is 200. Subtract, bring down another 0. You can bring down as many zeros as you want. 40 goes into 100 2 times. 2 times 40 is 80. Subtract, bring down another 0. 40 goes into 200 5 times. So you get 0.525 for that. Okay. Well, how do you change that to a percent? Move it over 2 places. 52.5 or 52.5% works. That's it. All right, number 13 and 14, we're gonna explain. We're gonna name the quadrilateral, and we're gonna explain why it is the best name for the figure. Let's just focus on naming the quadrilateral. Well, it looks kind of rectangular, doesn't it? So we're gonna say rectangle. But it doesn't tell us that these are 90-degree angles, but we're gonna assume that they're 90-degree angles. So these are right angles. So you can say they're right angles. It's also a parallelogram, technically. But so you could say a parallelogram and say, hey, they didn't tell us these are right angles. So either one of these answers would work for me, okay? All right, what about this? Find the area of the figure below. Well, this is a parallelogram. The reason we know that is because these are equal and these are equal. So these are kind of there to throw you off. You don't need those. All you need to find the area of a parallelogram is base times height. So your base is 62 and your height is 52. So area equals 62 times 52. And what does that equal? Well, let's figure it out. 62 times 52. It's 4, 12, make a space, 10, 31. So 3,224. Area is square, so square kilometers. That's a big parallelogram. All right, number 15, we're gonna write this in scientific notation. All we're doing is multiplying the big numbers, the normal numbers together, and then we're multiplying the powers of 10. So we're gonna multiply 2.2 times 2.1. So let's do that. 2.2 times 2.1 is, and bring the decimal over 2 places, 4.62. And then we're going to multiply the powers of 10. Remember, when you multiply powers of 10, you're just adding the exponents. 5 plus 6 is 11. And there's your answer. That's pretty good. That's pretty easy. All right, number 16, solve for this equation. Well, what does that 0.9 do into the n? It's multiplying, so how do you get rid of it? You divide. Whatever you do to one side, do to the other. So that goes in exactly 5 times, okay? Good. All right, same thing here. S plus 1/2 equals that. Well, how do you get rid of that plus 1/2? You subtract 1/2. All right, we need a common denominator. What's the common denominator? 24. So you have to multiply this by 12, this by 12, and you get minus 12 24ths. So now subtract. So 19 minus 12 is 7 24ths. And don't forget that 6. So your final answer is 6 and 7 24ths. Cool. All right, 3 more and we're done. Okay. So we're going to follow the order of operations. The first order is parentheses. And look, there's parentheses inside of parentheses inside of parentheses. So we're going to do that first one first. What's 4 minus 2? That's 2. Okay, so we're left with 2 times this, times this, times this. So let's just rewrite it here just to be safe. 23 minus 5 squared minus 3 times, because remember when it's right next to a parentheses, it means multiplication. All right, let's do the next parenthesis. Well, the next parenthesis is this guy right here. So inside of here, we're gonna do that exponent first. So rewrite everything, 2 times 23 minus, all right, 25 minus 3 times 2. All right, we're almost done with inside this parenthesis. We need this multiplication first. So let's rewrite everything else. 2 times 23 minus 25 minus 6. All right, now we've got this parenthesis. Let's figure out that parenthesis. So that's 2 times 23 minus, what's 25 minus 6? 19. Okay, now we have one more parenthesis. This guy, 23 minus 19 is 4. So then we're left with 2 times 4, which is 8. Okay, that works. All right, number 19, we want this in a fractional answer, so we have to convert this to a fraction. How do you say 0.7? Well, 7, and what place value does that end in? The tenths. So this is just 7 tenths, okay? So we have 7 tenths divided by parenthesis. Let's change this to improper fractions, just because we can. 3 times 9 is 27, plus 7 is 34 ninths, minus 6 8/3, okay? So we are gonna get a common denominator here. This is just times 3 would be 24 ninths. So 34 ninths minus 24 ninths is 10 ninths, okay? How do we divide fractions? Copy dot flop, 7 tenths dot 9 tenths. Multiply across, because nothing cancels, bummer. 63 100ths, and you're done, 19. All right, let's do 20. So here's the rule, subtraction is dumb. Say it with me, I'll wait. Okay, good. Some of you are still not saying it. So how do you do this? We get rid of subtraction. Look for the subtraction problems. This is actually a negative number. It's not a subtraction problem, but this guy is. So get rid of it by chicken scratching. Bok, bok. Here's another subtraction problem. Bok, bok. Remember, you can change any subtraction problem to an addition problem as long as you change the next sign. So that next sign was negative, so we change it to positive. Okay? So now we've got a couple negatives and a couple positives. Let's add the negatives together. You got a negative 14 up against a positive 7. Who do you think is going to win? The negatives again win. So, and there's negative 7 left over. That is number 20. And that is the last question on the last test of the year. So that's it for the year. Math 8-7 complete. All right, well, actually you have to take one more test, but that'll be okay. So let me know if you have any questions. I think you guys are gonna rock this. Finish strong. I'm so proud of what you've done this year. This year has been crazy, but you held strong and way to go. We'll see you next year in pre-algebra. Have a great summer. Stay safe, stay healthy. See you later.
Flack math, give me some math and I'll give you some flack. Flack math.